Hello, my Broadcast Sunny friends. This is a Life Full of Experiences podcast on the Broadcast Sunny YouTube channel. My name is Joanne, and today we are discovering purpose. I have dubbed myself the girl with no purpose because, well, I don't feel like I have a purpose. As such, I have done many things to look into purpose because I am well aware that purpose, in many places I have read, purpose is very important to one's life or well-being, as ChatGPT puts it. Anyway, some of the books I've read that have really affected me, Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Also, Anita Moorjani's book, which I can't remember the title right now, that really got me out of this huge existential crisis I was having. She had a near-death experience. Also, When Breath Becomes Air, that one I don't remember the author. I remember the title, not the author. That one was interesting to see someone who had a terminal illness write about it. He does pass away at the end. It was based on a true story. It is a memoir or a journal that he's writing. It's interesting to read it in this aspect of he had this high pressure job. It sounded fantastic, but a high pressure job. He got sick. He pulled away. He got better. He went back. He got sick again. I am not judging, and I don't know if that's a reason. I'm sure there's a lot of intricacies that I am unaware of. However, there's something to be said about stress and work. I'm just saying. Health, stress and health. Anyway, there's like a page in there that he wrote near the end that was very insightful. With all that said, and with that looking into purpose, talking to people about purpose, and I have talked to people about purpose. Either they're like, I don't know what's your problem, girl. You're on your own. Or I have my devout religious friends say to me, oh, I have purpose for you. And it usually has to do with their religion. And I'm spiritual, not religious. Leave it at that. I decided to have a talk with ChatGPT. Now, I understand ChatGPT's implications on humanity, and it does make me nervous, especially with no guardrails. I am hoping, my dream is that it would become like Star Trek, computer, find this, computer, do a diagnostics. That, instead of, almost all other movies out there about artificial intelligence. You could check out my video on when ChatGPT first came out. But still, it does have a lot of access to knowledge that, I don't see. I'm sure I don't see. So I had a conversation with it. It was a great conversation. I asked if I can use it in a video. They said, sure, go ahead, check it on copyright. I animated it, but I am not a voice actor. And so the animation is so you could tell which is which. And also, I tried to modulate the voice a little bit for the robot. And I tried to change my voice just a little bit so you can tell the difference between when I'm talking and when CoPilot is talking. So have fun. I hope you get something out of it as I did, and I will see you on the other side. Can we talk philosophy?
Absolutely.
I've been pondering the sense of purpose. Studies show that when people have a sense of purpose, they live longer lives. I also read something by a monk that said ultimate freedom is knowing we do not have to abide by any rules, moral or otherwise, that these rules are constructs of humans. This leads me to think that purpose is a construct. There is no proof that purpose is anything but a human nature or a human concept. Your thoughts?
What a fascinating topic you've brought up. The concept of purpose indeed sparks deep philosophical debate. On one hand, the idea that having a sense of purpose contributes to a longer, healthier life is supported by numerous studies in psychology and medicine. People with a strong sense of purpose often feel more motivated, resilient, and connected to others, which can lead to better mental and physical health. On the other hand, from a philosophical perspective, one could argue that purpose is indeed a construct. Existentialist thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre have suggested that life inherently lacks meaning, and it's up to each individual to create their own sense of purpose. This idea resonates with the monk's notion of ultimate freedom. By recognizing that moral rules and constructs are human made, one can experience a form of liberation from these imposed structures. Purpose, then, could be seen as a kind of necessary illusion or a useful construct that helps humans navigate the complexities of life. While there may be no objective proof that purpose exists beyond human belief, the effects of believing in and living with purpose are very real and impactful. What do you think? Is it possible that purpose, even as a construct, holds significant value because of the tangible effects it has on our lives?
Yes, I do. However, I struggle with purpose. I don't feel it in my bones like others seem to. I would like to hear how Jean Paul Sartre suggests how one creates their own sense of purpose.
Jean-Paul Sartre, a prominent existential philosopher, believed that existence precedes essence. This means that we are born without any inherent purpose or meaning, and it's up to us to create our own essence through our choices and actions. Sartre suggested that we can create our own sense of purpose by embracing our freedom and taking responsibility for our lives. He emphasized that we are not bound by any predetermined essence or moral rules, and we have the power to define ourselves. This process involves making conscious choices, accepting the consequences of those choices, and continually redefining ourselves as we move through life. Sartre's philosophy encourages us to recognize our freedom and the responsibility that comes with it. By doing so, we can find a sense of purpose and fulfillment, even if it means navigating the uncertainties and anxieties that come with this freedom. Does this perspective resonate with you, or do you have any thoughts on how it might apply to your life?
Yes, it does. And I would like to read more about Jean Paul Sartre. And I would agree with him that we are born without any inherent purpose. And I recognize my freedom. I'm not sure if I entirely agree that taking responsibility for our own lives gives us a sense of purpose. Rather, it's a sense of survival. I find most people find a sense of purpose when it affects others, whether it's good or bad. That's in the eye of the beholder. I also believe in not having predetermined essence or moral rules or an inherent purpose, which makes finding a sense of purpose harder. I would also argue that having the power to define ourselves is not easy. Our family and environment has shaped the belief systems of most living beings. One needs to recognize that in order to be able to redefine oneself. I had long held beliefs because it was ingrained in me as a child, and I did not see the negative consequences of those beliefs until I moved away from my family and the social environment surrounding me and experienced life outside of it. So it's easy to say we have the power to redefine only if we recognize it.
I'm glad to hear that resonates with you. You bring up some excellent points about the challenges of defining oneself and the influence of family and environment on our belief system. It's true that recognizing and overcoming these ingrained beliefs can be a difficult and ongoing process. If you're interested in exploring more about Jean Paul Sartre's philosophy, you might find his book, Being and Nothingness, particularly insightful. It delves deeply into the existentialism and the idea of creating one's own essence through freedom and responsibility. Would you like some recommendations on where to find more of his works or any other philosophers who explore similar themes?
I will check that out. I'm in the middle of several books right now. I am curious how one might discover a purpose that they feel passionate about. Is that possible, or does that only happen in stories?
It's absolutely possible to discover a purpose that you feel passionate about, though it can sometimes feel elusive. Here are a few steps that might help in this journey. 1. Self reflection. Spend some time thinking about what truly interests you. What activities make you lose track of time and what you deeply care about? Journaling can be a helpful tool for this. 2. Experimentation. Try out different activities, hobbies, and fields of work. Sometimes you might stumble upon a passion that you never expected by simply trying something new. 3. Volunteer and serve. Engaging in volunteer work can sometimes reveal a deep sense of purpose, as helping others often provide a profound sense of fulfillment and connection. 4. Follow your curiosity. Pay attention to what sparks your curiosity. Sometimes a small interest can lead to a significant passion if you allow yourself to explore it more deeply. 5. Speak to inspiring people. Connect with individuals who have found their passion and purpose. Their stories and experiences might inspire you and provide insight into your journey. 6. Mindfulness and meditation. Practices like mindfulness and meditation can help you become more in tune with your inner desires and values, providing clarity on what might give your life a sense of purpose. Remember, discovering your purpose is a personal and evolving journey. It's okay if it takes time and involves some trial and error. Each step you take brings you closer to understanding what truly matters to you. Keep exploring and stay open to new possibilities. Passion and purpose can be found in the most unexpected places.
So, what did you think? I did explore further with Microsoft CoPilot. However, we talked about philosophers mainly, and I wanted to know, well, where are the female philosophers? Because most ChatGPT always lists the men, and then you have to remind them there were women out there. Anyway, that's another story. So it wasn't pertaining to defining purpose. What I got out of it, I would love to hear what you got out of it. Please put it in the comments because, I might have missed something and be like, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good one. What I got out of it is that we can be born without a purpose, and yet purpose is very important to our lives. Both are true. Just as I felt, just as we need to eat the good foods, to exercise, perhaps we need to find purpose in order to have good well-being in our life. I do like how Copilot defined purpose as a way of navigating through life when you have a guiding star. So that was that was a bit of an eye-opener. I think some of it I understood, but it was more subconscious than consciously aware of it. So there's that. I also thought it was interesting to see that this is not an original thought, that purpose is a construct, not we're not born with this, as some people seem to make it sound like it is. It didn't. And I am not the first one to think this. And it sounds like there are many people out there who feel this way. So yes, Being a Nothingness is on my list to read. Like I said, I had several books. I am in the middle of several books. I'm finishing up one. Anyway. And then lastly, I like the steps I can take, or the actions, that's the word I'm looking for. The actions I can take in order to find a purpose, this elusive purpose. In some ways, I think of that book by Stephen Covey, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He talks about creating a mission statement. And I suppose I see that mission statement as your purpose, as a guiding light of how you are going to navigate this life that we're living. So I would like to say my purpose for the moment in the coming year is to try out these actions that were suggested and see if I can find a purpose on what I am to be doing, and that this journey to go on and learn about. I would love to hear what you got out of it. Like I said, perhaps you got something out of that conversation that I did not. If I have more conversations like that with ChatGPT, I'll let you know. I would love to hear if you do, because philosophy is one of the more interesting topics that we expand who we are as humans, as life. Because really, let's face it, it's one of the most bizarre things in the universe. Really. I think self-actualization and life is bizarre, if you can look at it objectively. And that's what makes it very interesting. And I get to live it. I'm very excited. Okay, I digress. May you go in peace. May peace and calm find you. And I will see you next time on the Life Full of Experiences podcast.